Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Iti Namane Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharane Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarane. All week long, I have been conducting a Bhagavat Saptaha program for the honor and benefit of our wonderful friend Dwarkadish Das. Today is the 6th day of the Katha, and Dwarkadish's daughter requested a story from Krishna book or Srimad Bhagavatam. The title of this story is The Killing of Shalva by Lord Sri Krishna. I'm going to present it to you the way it is depicted in this Srimad Bhagavatam. We'll begin by uttering the sacred 12-syllable mantra. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So please repeat. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So, the secret to hearing the Srimad Bhagavatam is to hear with rapt attention. In the very beginning of the Srimad Bhagavatam, Suta Goswami, before going into detail, answering the questions of the sages of Naimisharanya, headed by Shaunaka Rishi, Suta Goswami says that I heard Shukadev, the original recitation, and I heard with rapt attention. So that is the secret of success. So let us begin. This, of course, is in the 10th canto, where 90 chapters are dedicated to describing the verse from Bhagavad Gita. Janma karma chame divyam evam yoveti tatvata tyaktva deham punar janma naiti mameti sorjunat. In that verse from chapter 4 of Bhagavad Gita, Krishna informs Arjuna that if you can understand his janma karma, birth and activities, or we call lila or pastimes, if you can understand them scientifically, truthfully, in fact, or as Prabhupada says, as it is, what will be the result? You don't come back and take birth again in this material world, but you go back home, back to Godhead, the home of Sri Sri Rukmini Dwarakadish. So, a great benefit from understanding Krishna's Janma and karma, birth and activities. And that is described in the 90 chapters of Srimad Bhagavatam. Shukadeva Goswami said, "Now please hear, O King Parikshit, another wondrous deed performed by Lord Krishna, who appeared in his human-like body to enjoy transcendental pastimes. Hear how Krishna killed the master of Shalva. So notice, human-like body. In other words, Krishna's form, which he manifested 5,000 years ago in India, looked like an ordinary human being. But despite the fact that it looked like an ordinary human being, Krishna's body was unlimited, transcendental, spiritual, without any restrictions, no limitations. That body, from babyhood all the way till the end, regardless of the size, regardless of the age, Krishna's body was unlimited, no restrictions. In the Bible, it is said, man is made out of the image and likeness of God. But in the Bible, they don't tell you what that form of God looks like. That you have to come to Srimad Bhagavatam. In Srimad Bhagavatam, then you will understand that biblical phrase, man is made out of the image and likeness of God. Let us continue. Shalva was a friend of Shishupal. When Shalva attended the wedding of Rukmini, the Yadu warriors defeated Shalva in battle, along with Jarasandha and other kings. Then Shalva swore in the presence of all the kings, I will rid the earth of Yadavas. Just see my prowess. Having thus made this vow, the foolish king proceeded to worship Lord Pashupati, or Lord Shiva, and he worshipped his deity by eating a handful of dust each day. So in the Bhagavad Gita, we learn that there is austerities in the mode of goodness, austerities in the mode of passion, and austerities in the mode of ignorance. Here is classic example of austerities in the mode of ignorance. The great Lord Umapati is known as one who is quickly pleased. Yet, only at the end of a year did Lord Shiva gratify Shalva, who approached him for shelter, and Lord Shiva offered Shalva a choice of benedictions. Shalva chose a vehicle that could be destroyed by neither demigods, demons, humans, Gandharvas, Uragas, nor Rakshasas, and that could travel anywhere Shalva wished to go. And this would be terrifying to the Vrishnis. Lord Shiva said, so be it. And upon Shiva's order, Maya Danava, who conquers his enemies' cities, constructed a flying iron city named Saubha and presented it to Shalva. This unassailable vehicle was filled with darkness and could go anywhere. Upon obtaining it, Shalva went to Dwaraka, remembering the Vrishni's enmity towards him. So that is scene 1. I have taken these chapters and I've broken it out into scenes. Scene number 2, Pradyumna saved by his driver. Shukadeva Goswami continued. Shalva besieged the city of Dwaraka with a large army, O best of the Bharatas, decimating the outlying parks and gardens, the mansions, along with their observatories, towering gateways and surrounding walls, and also the public recreational areas. From his excellent airship, Shalva threw down a torrent of weapons including stones, tree trunks, thunderbolts, snakes, and hailstones. A fierce whirlwind arose and blanketed all directions with dust. Thus, terribly tormented by the airship Shalva, Lord Krishna's city of Dwaraka had no peace, just like the earth when it was attacked by the 3 aerial cities of the demons. Seeing his subjects so harassed, the glorious and heroic Lord Pradyumna told them, "Do not fear," and then mounted his chariot. The chief commanders of the chariot warriors, Satyaki, Charudeshna, Samba, Akrura, and his younger brothers, along with Hardikya, Bhanuvinda, Gada, Shuka, and Sarana, then went out of the city of Dwaraka with many other eminent bowmen, all girded in armor and protected by a contingent of soldiers riding on chariots, elephants, and horses, and also by companies of infantry. A tumultuous, hair-raising battle then commenced between Shalva's forces and the Yadus. It equaled the great battles between the demons and the demigods. And with his divine weapons, Pradyumna instantly destroyed all of Shalva's magical illusions. Keep in mind, Pradyumna is Krishna's first son. Bhagavatam and Prabhupada says, all of Krishna's sons were as powerful as him. And we have this expression, like father, like son. That's applicable to the Yadu dynasty. In the same way that the warm rays of the sun dissipate the darkness of night, Pradyumna destroyed Shalva's magical illusions. Lord Pradyumna's arrows all had gold shafts, iron heads, and perfectly smooth joints. With 25 arrows, Pradyumna struck down Shalva's commander-in-chief, Dyuman. And with 100 arrows, Pradyumna struck Shalva himself. Then Pradyumna pierced Shalva's officers with 1 arrow each, his chariot drivers with 10 arrows each, and his horses and other carriers with 3 arrows. And when they saw the glorious Pradyumna performing this amazing and mighty feat, all the soldiers on both sides praised Pradyumna. So let's praise Pradyumna. Jai Pradyumna! Jai Pradyumna! Jai Pradyumna! But then, in a moment, the magic airship built by Mayadanava appeared in many identical forms. And then the next moment, it was again only one. Sometimes it was visible, sometimes not. Thus, Shalva's opponents could never be sure where it was. From one moment to the next, the Shalva airship appeared on the earth, in the sky, on a mountain peak, or in water. It was like a whirling, flaming baton. It never remained in any one place. Wherever Shalva would appear with his Shalva airship and his army, the Yadu commanders would shoot their arrows. Shalva became bewildered upon seeing his army and aerial city thus harassed by his enemies' arrows, which struck like fire, and they were as intolerable as the venom of a snake. Because the heroes of the Vrishni clan were eager for victory in this world and the next, they did not abandon their assigned posts on the battlefield, even though the downpour of weapons hurled by Shalva's commanders tormented them. Then Shalva's minister, Duman, previously wounded by Sri Pradyumna, ran up to Shalva and roaring loudly, struck Pradyumna with his club of black steel. Pradyumna's driver, the son of Dwaraka, thought that his valiant master's chest had been shattered by the club, and knowing well his religious duty, he removed Pradyumna from the battlefield. Quickly regaining consciousness, Lord Krishna's son Pradyumna said to his chariot driver, "O driver, this is abominable for me to have been removed from the battlefield. Except for me, no one born in the Yadu dynasty has ever been known to abandon the battlefield. My reputation has now been stained by a driver who thinks like a eunuch. What will I say to my fathers, Ram and Keshava?" Let's also say these names. Ram, Keshava. "When I return to them after having simply fled the battle, what will I say? What can I tell them that will befit my honor? And certainly my sisters-in-law will laugh at me and say, 'O hero, tell us how in the world your enemies turned you into such a coward in battle.'" The idea is a Kshatriya, his honor, his name and fame is everything. If the Kshatriya does anything to make his honor and prestige lessen, that is not good. In the Bhagavad Gita, the old translation, "For one who has been honored, dishonor worse than death." That's the Kshatriya. Pradyumna's driver replied, "O long-lived one, I have done this knowing full well my prescribed duty. O my Lord, the chariot driver must protect the master of the chariot when he is in danger, and the master must also protect his driver. With this rule in mind, I removed you from the battlefield, since you had been struck unconscious by your enemy's club, and I thought you were seriously injured." Similar thing happened during the battle of Kurukshetra. Several times, Krishna acted in such a way just to protect Arjuna. There were key incidents during the war where Krishna intervened just to save Arjuna. So the same concept is there. The chariot driver has to protect the warrior on the chariot, and vice versa. Scene 3. Shalva almost fools Krishna. Where is Radha Mohini? Where are you? You're upstairs? All right. So your particular scene is coming that you asked about. Okay? She specifically requested this. Shri Shri Rukmini Dwarkadish Ki Jai. She specifically requested this chapter for this scene 3. So again, the title, Shalva almost fools Krishna. Key word, almost. Shukadeva Goswami continued. After refreshing himself with water, putting on his armor, and picking up his bow, Lord Pradyumna told his driver, "Take me back to where that hero Duman is standing." In Pradyumna's absence, Duman had been devastating Pradyumna's army. But now, Pradyumna counterattacked Duman, and smiling, pierced Duman with 8 Naracha arrows. With 4 of these arrows, Pradyumna struck Dyuman's 4 horses. With 1 arrow, Dyuman's driver, and with 2 more arrows, Dyuman's bow and chariot flag, and with the last arrow, Dyuman's head. Gada, Satyaki, Samba, and others began killing Shalva's army, and thus all the soldiers inside the airship began falling into the ocean, their necks severed. As the Yadus and Shalva's followers thus went on attacking one another, the tumultuous, fearsome battle continued for 27 days and nights. Invited by Yudhishthira, the son of Dharma, Lord Krishna had gone to Indraprastha. Now that the Rajasuya sacrifice had been completed and Shishupal killed, Krishna began to see inauspicious omens. So Krishna took leave of the Kuru elders and the great sages, and took leave of Pritha and her sons, and returned to Dwaraka. So, this was one of the reasons why Shalva attacked, because Krishna was in Indraprastha, Hastinapur. So Shalva had heard that Krishna had killed Shishupal, and Shishupal was his great friend. So since Krishna and Balaram were absent, Shalva decided to attack Dwaraka. Thinking to himself, Krishna murmured, "Because I have come here with my respected elder brother," what's his name? Balaram, everybody say. "Kings partial to Shishupal may well be attacking my capital city." So Krishna is most intelligent. Shukadeva Goswami continued. After Krishna arrived at Dwaraka and saw how his people were threatened with destruction, and also saw Shalva and his Salva airship, Lord Keshava arranged for Dwaraka's defense and then addressed Dwaraka as follows. So, we learn from the Bhagavad Gita, Kontiyapati janihi namai bhakta pranasyati. Krishna will always protect his devotee. So it is only natural that Krishna comes and he's going to protect the residents of Dwarka who are his devotees. This is a great quality of Krishna. Bhakta Vatsala. Krishna always inclined, always favorable, always to do good for the devotee. Just like a mother always does what's good for the child. This is natural. In the same way, Krishna always protects his devotee. What makes one a devotee? We learned earlier this week, the residents of Vrindavan, they have no shelter other than Krishna. In a few days, we will hear about the Govardhan Puja, and we will learn how Indra decimates Vrindavan 7 days and nights, sending devastating Samvartaka rain clouds. So the cows immediately took shelter of Krishna, and Krishna immediately wanted to take care of the cows. The residents of Vrindavan, in the same way, they know no other shelter than Krishna. We see throughout this 10th canto, especially in the Vrindavan Leela, whenever there's any kind of disturbance, first call Krishna, save us. Time after time after time. Also, after the battle of Kurukshetra, when Ashvatthama tried to kill Parikshit in the womb, Uttara also cried out to Krishna. And what makes Uttara so wonderful, she said, this Brahmastra, it's okay if it kills me, but please protect the child in the womb. See my point? The mother will always take care of, even before herself, she will take care of the child. And when Arjuna saw a Brahmastra sent by Ashvatthama, he also immediately took shelter of Krishna. And Krishna advised him, yes, you can neutralize this Brahmastra, because he does not know, Ashvatthama does not know how to retract it. But he told Arjuna, but you know, because your guru taught you how. So the conclusion is, what makes a devotee? Somebody who is always taking shelter of Krishna. As Bhaktivinoda Thakur sings in one of his songs, either in happiness or distress, the devotee takes shelter of Krishna. Most people, only when they're in distress, oh God, oh God, oh God. But when they're enjoying, no, oh God, oh God, oh God. But a devotee, happy, he takes shelter of Krishna. Distress, takes shelter of Krishna. That's a devotee. Therefore, Lord Chaitanya says, Kirtaniya Sadahari. You want to take shelter of Krishna? It's easy. Chant the Maha Mantra. Everybody. So here is Krishna speaking to his chariot driver, Daruka. O driver, quickly take my chariot near that Shalva. This Lord of Salva is a powerful magician, so don't let him bewilder you. Thus ordered, Daruka took command of the Lord's chariot and drove forth. As the chariot entered the battlefield, everyone there, both friend and foe, caught sight of the emblem of Garuda. When Shalva, the master of a decimated army, saw Lord Krishna approaching, Shalva hurled his spear at Krishna's chariot driver. The spear roared frighteningly as it flew across the battlefield. Shalva's hurtling spear lit up the whole sky like a mighty meteor. As I've said many times, these would make excellent 3D movies. If anyone's listening out there in Hollywood, come see me. I'll advise you how to make good, exciting blockbuster movies. Not these fairy tales that you come up with. We have history. These are not stories. That's not how we understand. These are not stories. These are histories. But Lord Shauri, please say Shauri. That's another name for Krishna, because he comes from the Shura dynasty. So he's known as Lord Shauri. Everybody say. Tore the great weapon into hundreds of pieces with his arrows. Lord Krishna then pierced Shalva with 16 arrows and struck the Salva airship with a deluge of arrows as it darted about the sky. Firing his arrows, Krishna appeared like the sun, flooding the heavens with its rays. Nice analogy Shukadeva Goswami is given. For instance, this morning, I'm coming here. where I was staying, it was very dark and muggy. But after a few moments, the sun came out and it was all shining and bright. The sun flooding the heavens. Nice description. Shalva then managed to strike Lord Krishna's left arm, which held his bow, Sharanga. And amazingly, the Sharanga bow fell from Krishna's hand. Those who witnessed this all cried out in dismay. Then the master of Shalva roared loudly and addressed Lord Janardhan. Everybody say, very nice. So here is Shalva. I think I could play his part because I'm a demon. You fool! Because in our presence you kidnapped the bride of our friend Shishupal. Who was that bride? Rukmini. You kidnapped the bride of our friend Shishupal, who was your own cousin. And because you later murdered Shishupal, so that was a recent event. So news must have traveled fast. You murdered Shishupal in the sacred assembly while he was inattentive. So today with my sharp arrows, I will send you to the land of no return. Though you think yourself invincible, I will kill you now if you so dare to stand before me. So this is pride.